chat. Okay, we are live. Posted on the X, the big ol' X. Do some budgeting. Let's do second round, budgeting time. Ooh. Fun. Oh boy. I think we got all of the individuals we want yesterday. We need to determine when we want them. It would be good to add other non-developer personnel here. Things like accountant, if needed, which will certainly be needed because I'm terrible at that. And I don't want to have to worry about it. You just say, here, take these receipts. Here's how much we need to pay people. Take care of it for me, please. Only thing is, I don't know how much you pay an accountant. I really don't know. Accountant. Accountant. Probably the only one I needed to add, really. I mean, you can hire accounting services, right? So it's not really somebody that I need to. Is that my mom in chat? In this chat of all places, instead of sleeping? Have you come to finally watch Frieden? As you conveniently spend enough time before watching the next episodes to forget everything. I see. Right now in chat, okay, I'll turn it on. Let's go. Pretty crazy, actually, if you look at the it's still #1, which is just absurd to see. And it's important to note that these shows that are sometimes, 10 plus years old or even older have dominated the top 10 spots for years and years and years and years and years. And these are very good shows. These are exceptional shows. And for Frieden to still be sitting at #1, that says a lot. I could do like an overriding cost. Cost override. Maybe about Fallout? I have really mixed feelings about Fallout. I I think the first episode is really good. It's really good. It's very faithful to the show for the most part, or to the games for the most part. I think that the characters and the themes fit pretty well in the first episode. The second episode was iffy for me, and I don't know if it's just that episode, or if the pilot episode is just overwhelmingly good. It's such a mixed bag where I think some things are just pure Fallout in all the best ways, and other things are like somebody who thought they knew what Fallout was but didn't ever actually play the games. It's weird. It's like they had multiple. I'm sure they had multiple writers working on it, but that some things were left up to the. I'm sure that's not the case, but it's weird to describe. Let's put it that way. If F11 is like, I've only seen 2 of the 8 episodes so far, right? So I really can't say too much about it. I really think that the pilot episode, very good, very, very hooky. It sets up the themes really well. It's brutal and funny in all the right ways, in all the ways that Fallout expected you to just accept brutality in almost a humorous way with the really quirky characters. And a lot of the side characters, a lot of the characters that are like tertiary in the background, to me often feel like they fit better in the world than sometimes the characters that are speaking on screen. So it's really weird. What am I working on today? Just more budget. I got a lot of feedback from producer on budget, and I'm just going to be remaking it from scratch with that in mind. We don't have costs for that. I have no idea what I would pay these people. I was hesitantly excited for it because I really enjoy the Fallout games. They've got a really cool universe. And I think they did an exceptional job with some of the characters, like the main girl, a couple of the side characters really feel perfect within the Fallout universe. And sometimes the background characters, or the characters that are just kind of there in a scene for the characters to interact with, they feel like they're ripped right out of a Fallout game. They have the perfect vibe, the perfect dialogue, and other scenes Like, feels like the writer tried too hard to be edgy. I mean, that's not surprising though, especially because it was like, it's Amazon Prime. I expect there to have been some force on like Jonathan Nolan's part, and I really like Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy. Fallout New Vegas is often considered the best. The problem is that, according to the show, at least from what I've seen people say, it is not canon. So, New Vegas was not made by Bethesda. It was an outsourced project to Obsidian Entertainment, with the licensing provided by Bethesda. And ironically, it ended up becoming, for most people, the best Fallout game ever made. I don't think Bethesda likes this very much. Yeah. Hey, we want another game in our universe. Are you guys okay with making that? Sure. And then they end up making the best game in the series. Yeah. I mean, I think that I can say this, after 2 episodes, I still think it's better than that Avatar show. Holy shit. It's ironic too, because you take Avatar: The Last Airbender, right, which is, in so many ways, a perfect story. It's great. There are very few flaws, and most of the flaws are just like small scenes or something that don't really matter overall. And they're like, okay, let's make a movie out of this show that's beloved and has a great story and is relatively concise, right? Avatar: The Last Airbender is only, let's see, it's only 24 hours for the episodes. Like, it isn't a long show. I mean, take like, Sopranos is 86. Wire is, 60 episodes, so like 60 hours. 24 hours is a pretty damn short show. It was very condensed, but in a way that made it feel like every single scene was important to the story. Supernatural. Didn't that show run for like ever? $14.6 thousand minutes plus. 243 hours. So it's like, you have a show that's 24 hours, right? Okay, let's make hour-long episodes. We will make 3 seasons, 8 episodes per season, 8 books. There are 8 books, there are 3 seasons in the original show in the cartoon. make 3 seasons, 8 episodes, hour-long episodes, slam dunk, adapt the story as it was told because the story doesn't need to be changed, and just make the fights better than the movie was. Because we've all seen the movie, right? With the with just this abysmal dancing, earth-bending bullshit to move one tiny rock. It's so bad. It's so bad. And then they ended up flubbing the story in the new series, and they made the effects look pretty good, somewhat. It's still hard to adapt a cartoon with a lot of like natural elements moving around on screen, right? Like fire. I mean, you can do fire pretty well these days. Earth is not too tough, but like air, that's something that airbending you have to stylize, right? It has to be stylized to show that it's more than just invisible forces moving. And the water still just kind of looked... It's just really hard to live action adapt a fast-paced cartoon. Which is why cartoons and anime exist in the first place, is to show things that would just be... Your brain would turn to mush trying to jump over the uncanny valley. You'd see real people and really way too realistic looking effects that your mind would just think, okay, this is so fake, but it's trying to be real that I can't process it. All I'm saying, you go to IMDb, you look up top shows, right? Avatar: The Last Airbender is number 7. It's even ranked above The Sopranos, which I would say they're just different audiences. It's hard to compare a cartoon that's aimed for all audiences to a hardcore HBO drama. But they're both good. They're definitely both good, and there's a reason this is so high up there with The Wire. I really think Avatar is it's a really easy show to watch. I think that while the first few episodes you might think, okay, this is meant primarily for kids, very quickly you'll realize that it's meant for all audiences, and it has timeless themes that I think anybody of any age can enjoy. And arguably one of the best redemption arcs in all of shows, in any show. I need to increase the netto salary. Maybe I can just add like 1,500 to each of these. I could just do it this way, maybe? just add 20%. I need it just to copy only the... That's not gonna work. There we go. When is the conference? Actually about a month from now. The 19th through 21st. Got a lot to do. Long live. Okay. What is this? Look at this. What is this? Long live cast Twitch scam 3. Esport Twitch online casino sports betting equals scam. I mean, yes. Hello, hell doesn't exist. Okay, that's good. Don't be afraid of death and you will be stronger. Okay. I'm really afraid of death though. Open your tab every evening and never turn it off. Okay, I'll do that. Add bleach to the food and throw it in the forest and the sea with the plastic. Okay, okay. The money will come to you. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Long Live Cast Twitch Scam, that the money will come to me. So beautiful. What the fuck it is? The Matrix isn't real. What the fuck is that? See, that's the kind of spam that I can take. I can take that in chat. I can just take random chaos spam. Just random things. Terrible advice. What do you mean, terrible advice? Ooh, look at that. Did not work. Bleach ammonia. Yes, don't watch Bleach. No Bleach fanboys or fangirls allowed in chat. Actually, I've heard that the latest season of Bleach was pretty good. Yeah, my mom is a pink-haired radical feminist. Nah, she's just a radical mom. Really want pink hair? You two can agree with that. I'm not gonna want pink hair. Hair damages so easily from bleach and it's too dark to dye normally. You have to bleach it before dyeing it? The only hat that I want is a... I'd really like to get my hands on this dinosaur hat for when I need to rant. Because this will be my Rantosaurus Rex mode. Things you can do with Visual Basic and Excel is amazing. The only thing I do with Visual Basic is I make export scripts for Unreal. Like all this, when I want it to go into Unreal, I can just run my export macro. Make my life as a designer easier. Doctor doesn't know his hair products? No, I don't. I wash my hair and I make the hair not be in my eyes, and that's it. Because that's annoying as hell. Special hair bleach for dark hair. I would hope you normally have dark hair like your son. Otherwise, I'd want a paternity test. Oh yeah, just ask people to dox themselves in chat. What a classic mom move that is. I'm just fucking with you. It's such a you can instantly tell the age of my mom. Side hustles information broker. Yeah, she's Liara from Mass Effect. By the way, my dad loves sci-fi, has never played Mass Effect. Next time I go to the US, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, we're sitting down, I'm making him play it. I bet he's gonna romance Tally. He can play Andromeda first, then can appreciate how good the original is. Damn, that's cold. That's cold. I recently, well not recently, but like within the past couple years or so, I 100%ed Andromeda. Because I originally tried to play it. It was trash. I played it after all these years. I was like, okay, if I'm gonna have an opinion on this, I'm gonna make sure nobody can question my opinion on it. I 100%ed it. Don't do that. Game is not very good. I don't recommend it. It was not worth my time. But like 3 times to play the game, yeah, it's like some parts of it were decent, and then but every quest just felt like a letdown. And whoever had the brilliant idea to not have some of the most enjoyable races in Andromeda, it's like, I get why you're doing it for lore purposes, but holy shit, you just made a game about humans, Krogan, and Turians. And it's like, okay, they're great, but for this many hours? Without any Elcor or Hanar, Orions, Asari Shrek. Dude, there were so many problems with that game. And every time there was a quest that was like, okay, we're getting to some emotional stakes. How, we're building it up. What's the payoff gonna be? Quest end. Wow, wonderful. Thank you so much. Sure that one of my professors worked on Mass Effect, but like everything she's worked on is just NDA to no end from the rumors I hear. It happens. I mentioned working on Metal Gear passively. There is a new Mass Effect. There's Mass Effect 4, which assumedly takes place long after Shepard's death, but will still include individuals that will still be alive, like Liara. Assumedly. That's why I hate NDAs. It's like, what's the point of working on these amazing, awesome games if you can't talk about them? You're Garrus fan? Garrus, I mean, I think all the romances, like mainline romances, are pretty damn good. Sorry, Lazy Fangs, this is a hairstyling only chat. Please don't talk about gameplay here. But I do they're better than the local salons. Mine is, I go in shower, I wash, I come out of shower, I dry, and then I use some clay to just make sure it's not my face, because I fucking hate that. Nothing worse than having to go like this every 5 minutes. Get it out of my face. Not everyone wants to look like ass. Well, I want to look like ass. So I like to put some effort. Husband colors your hair? Yeah, mine too. Here, I can
Going in the talks about hair now. So like, what products should I use for like my hair? Like,
to use shaving cream. Couldn't you technically use shaving cream as shampoo because it is just like soap? I don't know. Try Nair, yeah, that'll work. Okay, moving to vertical slice, I don't want to hire more than, trying to get more than like 5 people for these first 2 months. We need to start hiring a general manager at that point. Move the producer over to a regular producer role. I'd still be on. Need a level artist yet. And use one product for hair, body, laundry, dishes, yeah. What's the meme, like it's all in, like... Yeah, it's the 13-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, body wash, toothpaste, mouthwash, deodorant, peanut butter, Gatorade, milk, tin foil, tennis shoes, dental floss, eye drops. Well, the thing is, so I use like really aggressive soap, and then I just use like a, I don't even know what it is. Nivea aftershave lotion. I think it's this, the aftershave lotion. Specifically the lotion, I think. Or the balm. I don't remember. It's either that or the balm. I just put that on. Yeah, it does beat me up. Yeah. Yeah, if I drop it, yes, it just... Something goes up a place that things shouldn't be up. Numbers go up, chat. This is not the numbers go up game that I like. You know what numbers go up game that I like? Things like... See, this is a numbers go up game that I enjoy. Right? This is not a numbers go up game with enjoyable outcomes. In fact, I think the gameplay experience here is pretty shitty. If I had to put myself on the emotional wheel, I think I would be up here with like depressed. And maybe a little bit of dread and anxiety. I mean, I can just put me for the full period because that's just accurate. Need that chart? Chart is good. One of my favorite game design tools. Generalist DevOps. Very long game of Battleship. Yeah. Are you sure with the budget of this game at a certain point I could buy an aircraft carrier in real life? Gameplay designer. Here. Okay, look, it was kind of funny the first time. I'm not so sure it's as funny the second. Like, it would have been funny if it was something different, right?
Hello.
Can you come back with new spam? Yeah, free followers. You want me to tell them about your channel? Should I shout out your channel here? Maybe they'll come to raid you too. See, shout out to Lazy Fangs here. Long live Chaos Twitch Scam. Maybe you can give Lazy Fangs some follows too.
They're coming for us, Jack.
The Long Live Chaos Twitch Scam is on me.
Send a video of what I'm working on? Okay. Let me see it. This better not be your OnlyFans. I'm just fucking with you. Prototyping this in Excel? It seems unnecessarily hardcore. I mean, whatever works, right? But that's kind of hardcore. Yeah, download an Excel, right? It's a video, Lazy Fangs. I didn't even download the video, it's in Discord. I mean, if I get a virus from a PNG, I think I deserve it, to be honest. That's great. I mean, you prototype that in Excel, which is just wild. It kind of reminds me of I made like an idle game based around Darkest Dungeon, and I had to, you know, have that simulated auto combat. Pretty difficult. That's what we get for porn. It was Porn Studio Janitor, or whatever it was. Porn Star Janitor. I take the output of that combat chart and make a graph for a little. What does that help you do? Is that just as a prototype so you can see like a proof of concept almost? Two level designers on here. I don't know why. Okay, I kind of get it. So it's for balancing. I'm much more of like a intuition kind of balancer, which is not arguably better. Intuition designers are kind of shitty for teams. Because it's a lot of, oh, trust me. Trust me, this'll feel good. That's the thing, is like for me, making something like that would almost be easier to do on like in Unreal. And I'm saying just for me, that doesn't mean that's for you, right? So to prototype that in Excel is pretty hardcore. But also I would be, usually I work in a team, so I would do it in Unreal because that way I could give it to programmers and giving them, I think I'd get slapped by the programming team if I gave them Visual Basic and said, here's your prototype. But if you're not working in a team, then it's 100% fine. Give it to them in Paint. I've given them some Paint images before. So it's just sometimes easy to draw things up. The reason Unreal so I wouldn't know. The assignment is just to prototype one system in Excel, and I felt like going lengths for it. It certainly seems like it. I mean, it is hardcore. I mean, I made a game in DOS, right? So what the fuck do I know? Do I still have that? Yeah, I do. I mean, here's my text RPG, right? I made this in, I don't know how long it took me. And that's all assembly code, by the way. Which, to be honest, I kind of enjoyed working with assembly. It was very straightforward. How many lines? A casual 12,000 lines. I mean, I think it's a good challenge, and it certainly makes you... It's assembly, but it's with a little bit of batch hacking. So you can use GoTo to run from... to jump to a point and then run from that point again. So it is assembly, it's just... kind of also not at the same time. But it is no memory address manipulation. No, fuck that, man. It's balls to the wall. Let's just declare a million variables. I think the assignment to prototype in Excel is actually really good, is a good assignment. I don't know how useful prototyping in Excel with like Visual Basic would be long term, but I do know that learning to use Excel better is a invaluable skill, especially as a systems designer. I certainly wouldn't hire any systems designer that didn't really feel comfortable in Excel. Like, bro, how are you balancing? 2D artist, UI, balance in ChatGPT. I'd almost be tempted to do that interview with somebody that said that just for the memes. Like, yeah, just to explain your process. Let's see some of this balance. So, lo-fi Witcher soundtrack's pretty banging, I gotta be honest. I really don't know why I have multiple level designers listed in here. I mean, I think I do. I think I know why. All right, vertical slice. I'm gonna have to be honest with myself and say that as much as I want to design, having to also be creative director is not gonna give me too much time to design. Probably should go to sleep, no worries. So the stores over here don't have mint ice cream. I am glad that there's somebody else. Mint chocolate chip, right? Because that is an exceptional ice cream flavor. I'm also a vanilla enjoyer. A good vanilla ice cream is what is so wonderful. Mint chocolate chip is such a good flavor. I've seen it in like Auchan. And I'm pretty sure I bought it from some Jabkas. Love you, son.
Love you, Mom.
There, I think she heard it. Why does he have to be this way? Because she raised me. Because I have these parents that are absurd individuals that laugh at the stupidest jokes that I make. I'm pretty sure if I let out like a fat fart in the room with them, they would laugh their asses off. Bless you, you're a hero. There was something ridiculous about France. I mean, I know what I'm saying is not going to be that crazy, but there was something ridiculous about France that I read recently. You know, us French and Americans, we can hug and cry in each other's arms because everything that comes out of our countries is pretty ridiculous. Stop beeping at me. What did I read about France? I don't remember. I don't remember anything. We like frogs. I mean, there's also that. It was something very specific about France. Why do you want to add 3D objects to Excel? Why you were Larson Strawberry, your education is so random, you just find the weirdest possibilities. And then you're gonna like have a full-time job in game dev and none of it's gonna really be that. You're just gonna be sitting in Excel all day. Hug each other and cry about how embarrassing our countries are, yeah. Oh, okay, there was a really, really funny video. I'm gonna send it to you, Hero, because I think that you'll love it. About politicians in U.S. Also, I did see your message, and we should meet up. I can't meet up today. I can meet up maybe Saturday. You'll have to tell me. I don't know why I can, but I just did. You don't need narrative designer, most likely through buffer period. Maybe we will. Senior level designer. I don't think there will be enough to warrant a regular level designer to be added. It might be a case where one level designer and then just a contracted one for additional work could help. Okay, that works. I've been meeting up with people all week. It's been wild. It's been crazy busy. Need 3D. We might need additional 3D during. Alpha. Beta probably could be handled just by the lead. Character artist. But yeah, I don't know if you guys were here at the start, but I watched the first 2 episodes of the Fallout show. And I have mixed feelings about it. I think the first episode is really good. I'll tell you what my mixed feelings are. If you can overlook it, I think you'll like the show. And again, only 2 episodes, so I'm only 25% of the way through. It could just be that the second episode was and the rest of it's like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. First episode is a great pilot. It's a great pilot. It definitely has the Fallout feel and charm. It's only 8 episodes, which feels a bit rushed, doesn't it? I'd say the negative feelings come from some of the characters and some of the dialogue. Some of it feels like a writer was trying too hard to write dialogue that would work in the Fallout universe, and they just ended up creating this like overly edgy character. Sometimes, you know, because Fallout is over the top. It's over the top humor, it's over the top violence. It's supposed to just be kind of wacky and weird and awkward. That's okay, and that's definitely on display in some of the characters in great ways. They feel like they're perfect characters that you would find in a Fallout universe. But other times, like I said, it just goes too far, and it's like, okay, this is just... It's just silly, and not in a good way. It's not like campy, right? I don't know if there's a word in Polish for like campy. Pretty sure it's not kampowy. I don't know how to put it. Leave the Polish alone. I don't know how to put it. It's like Fallout's filled with a lot of over-the-top characters, right? And that's a great thing. But I think at a certain point you go from over the top with good writing to just straight over the top and bad writing, to where it takes you out of the scene. I think they did a really good job with Lucy, the main character, like the main Vault Dweller character, and she feels naive in all the right ways as basically like some noob player who keeps wearing their vault jumpsuit and just traveling around and having this weird sense of justice. It's funny. It works. It fits within the line of the game's humor. There's a ghoul main character. I think his character's pretty cool, and his prosthetics are pretty nice. There is a Brotherhood of Steel character who some of the scenes with him I think are very good, and some of them, and it's not necessarily just because of him that some of the scenes are, in my opinion, like kind of bad. It's other people that he's interacting with. I will say I think the Brotherhood stuff right now is the weakest, which is kind of sad. Most programmer DevOps. As long as they make the power armor good, the only thing I ever liked about Fallout 4. So the power armor in the show is it often has a lot of weird physics to it. In like very noticeable ways. You know how in like old hand, like I don't know, like some just fan-made content or like B movies, they would have the character make a jumping animation and they would clearly just be moving him across the screen. Like, you know, that kind of like very obviously they just he's on a green screen, he jumped, and then they just move that thing across the screen. There are a few scenes like that in the first couple episodes that are noticeably awkward. Gameplay programmer. We just keep the lead and generalist, or, well, yeah. Gameplay. Yeah, I was curious about the RimWorld DLC as well. A bit better in terms of full-time. I mean, that's a cut of nearly 10 people full-time at max. I think that's a lot smarter in this way. I mean, this is production, right? Is here to here. That's production. Everything before, before that's pre-production, after that is some cleaning up, bug fixing, shit like that. So it might be better. We'll see. Remove the million mods I have. It's a little bit better in terms of price or cost. Yeah, we did that. Did that. Technically, I'm lead. I just probably wouldn't pay myself that much. But it's arguably such a small difference, grand scheme of things. And for the amount of work that I'd be doing, probably deserved. Although I probably still wouldn't pay myself that much. I would like say lead, but then I'll just, I don't know. Outsource writer, yeah. Outsource writing. That just means we'd like probably get somebody on contract or something. What that mean? Outsourcing / contract, right? Part-time. Writing outsource. Sweet baby ink. Just kidding. I don't want them anywhere near me. Fuck off. I can do writing on GPT-4. Fuck off. Well, GPT-4 would still be better than Sweet Baby Ink, I think. Console cert. Console cert might be part of the buffer period. I mean, if we assume that release is here in Q2 2027, and again, like the exact month and year is not when the game is actually going to be released, because we don't know when funding would start. We don't know if there would be any delays. But according to this, if nothing went wrong, it would be in Q2. Oh, I don't feel too comfortable about trying to do cert and buffer. Console certification is so much work. I also don't have QA on here. Change though 5 to 11 for vertical. It's not unheard of. 6 people to hire, keep them for 2 months, get 2 more people, 1 more, two more. Wait till alpha. Same for alpha. So we'd essentially be fully stocked 3 months before alpha. Enough time to finish up vertical, get them integrated into the team, build them into pipelines, and then full on shove it up our ass production for alpha and beta. Hey Datu, how you doing? Been a while. (2D) and UI. Honestly, I'd want that right at start of vertical. We have a lot of 2D art and a lot of UI design that's needed. No doubt about that. Been mixed okay today? That is a Friday. I feel dead today. I don't know. I slept long enough. Didn't do anything crazy last night. I mean, I did go out and I technically did some extra work. I wonder what my sleep was like last night. Let's see. What was... Oh. It might be the fact that I only slept for 5 hours and 45 minutes. Oopsies. 13% restless. That might be why I feel a little bit out of place today. Still kind of your Thursday, that's true. Finally got the flat color done in that commission. Nice. Well, this is definitely 2 million zloty lower, but we're pushing more to outsourcing. I feel like we would need more than 1.5 million for outsourcing. But maybe not. Maybe 1.5 million is a pretty fair expectation. $550,000 for first playable, which is about, what is that, like 125,000 US dollars? A little bit more, 130, 140. That's pretty on point. No, it'd be more than that. It would be about that. PaintNet doesn't have a color blending tool. One of the characters is a very colorful parrot. I think there was a really good, there's some pretty good free alternatives to like Photoshop, especially for illustration. I don't remember their names. Who do we want from publisher side? Don't need to include numbers, just have the spot. Okay, so we need to kind of expand this area. I bet. No. It's like tech stuff and parties. Yeah, I've heard of Krita. Tablet doesn't work with it. Oh, that's kind of sad. Kind of fucked up. Or we just include this up here and we put. What do we expect? I will say like some QA our side, or not QA. Some localization. Our game's gonna have a lot of localization. There's gonna be a lot of dialogue. I don't know roughly how many words it would be. I mean, if we could anticipate. I should add more to outsourcing too, because we're probably gonna have to do. Oh, I mean, it'll be readjusted after vertical slice. We'll have a much better idea of what prices will be. UX, yeah, we're gonna be outsourcing UX probably. I don't need full-time UX. I mean, we're gonna have a full-time QA as well, so I think that full-time QA with part-time contracted UX will be more than enough. I'm just gonna, like, how many words in Fallout 4? I'm just curious. 111k lines, 450,000 words. 1,000. If I had to compare, I would say we'd have maybe maximum. I try to aim for like 80,000, 100,000 words. Yeah, I agree with you. UX is incredibly necessary, especially because we have that encyclopedia that stores all the players' like findings. That scares the shit out of me in terms of scope, and I don't want to take that lightly. That's a UI UX hardcore multi-year nightmare that needs to be perfect. It needs to be exceptional to use. And underestimating that and say, oh, it'll only take us a couple months? No. No. I could handle 100,000 for localization on our side. Basically roughly like 50,000 per language. I think it's pretty fair, considering the game size. And I have someone that can do 2 of those languages. Marketing would be handled by publisher, ideally. That could always change, though. It just depends on the agreement that we set up. I'm gonna put marketing on the publisher side for now. If we get a good publisher, I would want them to do the marketing, of course, right? Like, you know, God blesses us and gives us Devolver, right? Like, fuck yeah, you guys do the marketing. But then we don't have to put a number there because we don't know the number. Same with porting. How much to hire Sweet Baby Inc? There's no amount of money in the world that would let me, that would ever convince me to give those people any work. Your only agenda in game dev should be making a fun game. That's it. And like our game is gonna tackle tough themes. Our game is absolutely going to, you know, have some things to say, but it's gonna allow for multiple outcomes on what it says. And I think that people can take multiple interpretations from it. It's just gonna present you with scenarios. You draw the conclusions that you want. But no, like, I don't really want to tie it to... okay, so you know what makes, like, Disney movies, some of the old, like, animated ones, so timeless? It's because they don't target political issues. They target human issues. Issues that will always be with us because of our nature, right? And that's the same things I want to try to address here with the stories that we tell, are just timeless stories about human nature that you could play the game 10, 20, 30 years from now and it's still going to be as relevant as it will be when it releases. And I think those are the most interesting stories because those are the ones that we can identify with on a core level. That it doesn't matter what ideology you are, what you have between your legs, what you think you are in your head, what skin color you have, any external features. You can still identify with the themes that are, you know, about human nature. Unless you're a psychopath, maybe you can't then. I do think 1,500 for outsourcing is going to be too small. That was 1 zero too many. Mainly because we want to do voice acting for the characters, right? And like 80,000 words. If that's just the estimate, right? That's fucking expensive for voice acting. That's really expensive. But some money could be raised via crowdfunding, and if we do early access, we can help to pay for certain elements of development, right? So let's say our budget is, 12 million zloty, right? Which is like 3 million bucks. Yeah, I mean, crowdfunding is a whole thing. I'm not going to say we're going to do crowdfunding, but we can use it. It's just something that requires a shit ton of work. It is a full-time job to set up and do crowdfunding. Then you think this target can be made for 3 million? Yes, but I'm hiring in Poland. So if we were hiring people outside of Poland, that's way too small for this game. But because the wages here are a bit cheaper, cost of living is cheaper here, and I live here, so I would love to hire people that I could meet with in person and share the same culture with each other. Yeah, I think it's pretty fair. 3 to 4 million was still my original estimate. I think that's pretty on point. Yeah, you're right. It would get into all sorts of complicated tax stuff. It's already going to be complicated because my company is based out of the US. I might be able to open up like a second company here in Poland and have the money go through that, and then just my salary would go through my company in the US because it is a sole entity LLC. Okay, so typical funding would come in a few forms. So most commonly you have shareholders, right? You make your company a corporation or an LLC with shares, and you sell shares to investors for a certain amount of money, right? So yep, just like any other business. Second one, and I need to look into this, would be like grants. These just, money that you're being given, you may have to fulfill some obligations. It is what it is. Hire French people, pay us in cheese and wine. Dude, I'd eat all the cheese and drink all the wine. I'd say a third one is like investors or an investment group. So these will often either buy shares or just give you money with an expectation that over time they will get paid back with a certain amount of interest, right? So you're not necessarily you're like, hey, here's $50,000. Let's write up a contract, basically like a private loan, right? Fourth one would be like crowdfunding, which is still investing, but from individual users, so they don't, for crowdfunding there isn't an obligation to fulfill that commitment, which is why crowdfunding is very commonly abused, right? Very commonly used for scamming. Fun game via NFTs, yeah. Like if you were going to write a book, publisher will front cost. Do any game publishers do this? Yes. Seems like Steam should help fund game creation somehow. That would be an interesting idea. I mean, Epic kind of does this with Epic Mega Grants, right? If you're working with Unreal, so you have Epic Mega Grants. However, I've heard mixed things about this, especially with how long it takes to get the money. So fifth one would be publishers, as these are like the 5 big ones. Publishers, it really depends on. Publishers are just people who give you money, and they purchase essentially the rights to that game. So they are outsourcing the creation of a game to you, using their money, and whatever is in that contract, it depends on the. Some people hire 2 publishers, one for main money and one for like marketing. Some people do 1 publisher for everything, including localization, QA, marketing, porting, all of it. Some people get publishers just to make a vertical slice, and then it's with, okay, you pay us to make vertical slice, And if you like the game at that point, we can continue further development. Probably gotta have a good track record for publisher to be interested. It depends. It depends. Also, yes, there's a really good way to, I wouldn't say manipulate. It's not really like a negative way, right? You're putting your game on sale. It's not it's not bad for the end user. There's good ways to utilize the Steam's marketing and algorithms. So for publishers, if you are a new company, publishers are more scared because they don't know that you can make games. You have no track record, it's a new team, you haven't proven yourselves. So they will be less likely to give you money compared to a company that is established, that has experience making games, has a good track record of games. They know, okay, all 3 of their games have 80% more positive or higher on Steam. We feel pretty confident if we give you money to make a game, you know, you're going to keep delivering some level of decent quality. I think publishers right now are going to be a bit difficult because there's just money in the industry right now is kind of flowing in a weird way, if it's flowing at all. I mean, there's been massive layoffs. There's been a lot of budget cuts. I'm not too sure what this year will look like, and I'm sure there is money being slung around, but I bet it's mostly going to be in... I really don't know. I don't know how to predict this year in regards to getting a publisher. It could be that our game is like decent and any other year might get published, but this year there's a lot of bullshit with crowdfunding. I don't know if you watch, but at the end of every month we do Kickstarter reviews, and I get a bit drunk and we go over all of the games on as many games as we can on Kickstarter, all the video games, and we just expose all the scams and, you know, shitty ChatGPT generated games. It seems to become more and more common. First time I've seen this stream, a web developer. Oh, that's pretty cool. So yeah, at the end of every month, and if you want to watch any like our old ones, we have all of them up on YouTube, which is a tube just for you. Yeah, we got all of them up on here. They're pretty fun. I like them. I wish more people would show up for them. So hopefully, you know, some of you guys can be available at the end of the month. It's pretty wild. 25. 2.5 million. Lead UX designer for YouTube community is visiting my college right now. Can you tell him that the new YouTube layout sucks ass and to bring it back? Tell him or her. And you can just say it's from me. You can say it's from Microraptor Games. I'm just the messenger, and they can come on here and I'll shit on them for a while. I've been to GDC twice. I've been to GDC. Wasn't a big fan, to be honest. GDC used to be better. I think it's not very good nowadays. Tell them to hold the edit undo button all the way back to 2014. Yeah, seriously. Bring back the dislike button by default. Or the counter. Wasn't it just because of their YouTube Rewind that they removed the dislikes? Because it was the most disliked video on YouTube? Hate the newer Steam library layout. I've come to accept it. I think especially because you can just like remove certain things, choose a shelf. I don't know. You know, it is pretty customizable. do I feel about this? Does this address all the problems that we had? Outsourcing VFX. Wax sound. I feel like I should get more granular with this instead of just putting a rough number for outsourcing. Like, I should list exactly what we plan to outsource. I forget the invasive DRM. I can promise we will only have Steam DRM. Best of luck to you. Thank you. It's hard to build and ship stuff. Yeah, it is. It's, you know, there's some level of ease working solo, like 100% solo, and the moment you even think about I need to hire somebody, like actually hire, your complications go up like tenfold. And then when you think, okay, I need to build a team, so like the money adds up and I'm not good with dealing with the money. I would hire somebody to deal with the money. I want to do, you know, design work as well. I don't want to just be stuck doing bullshit directorial, setting up meetings. I hate that. I don't mind doing that sometimes, but I want to work. Own a business 100% solo, build my business to 48K a month revenue. God damn. I need to hire people, but it's lame doing it. Lol, yeah. Well, one of the biggest reasons I'm glad to be in college, create opportunities for massive team portfolio pieces. Yeah, it is. It is really nice. What's it mean when you're looking at a game and if you have library sharing, you can't sort by library? That's a good point. That's a good point. So because big politicians getting huge amount of dislikes on the video. I mean, wasn't the same thing with like Rotten Tomatoes? I think Rotten Tomatoes removed something, or they started curating reviews because it wasn't, I think it was around Dave Chappelle's special, his Sticks and Stones, that got terrible reviews because it included some offensive jokes. God forbid a comedian tell offensive jokes. What a world to live in. But then got like a super high audience score, which it was a good stand-up special in my opinion. I think I'll insert some cells here. Or if we need to insert cells, we say we incel them. My Friday joke should be better than that. That was rough, buddy. Concept art. Yeah, I'll do it like that. Concept art. Outsource. We did put a second 3D artist. We probably won't need to outsource any 3D art then. That's why people are more offended over those kinds of jokes more than the people they are about. Yes. I would 100% agree. And it's, which is, I don't know. It's really stupid. I mean, I think Dave Chappelle is primarily probably you know, his primary target and audience is probably African Americans, you know, a black audience largely. So it just really is, I don't know, it's hypocritical of people. It's also like, if you don't like it, just don't watch it. I don't really understand. I mean, I think people were attacking Bill Burr for some of his jokes. You know, regarding like black people, for instance, and then it's like, well, have you seen his wife? Which, by the way, she's a very beautiful lady. But it's like, I don't think that attack's gonna work against him. Music. UX. I think there's plenty of comedians that I don't think their jokes are that great, but I don't watch them. I don't know. There was a magic wand or a magic thing that kept everyone from saying anything that could possibly offend anyone at all. I wonder what the world would look like. The world would be quiet. It would be a very silent world. I think back when Jordan Peterson was a little bit more level-headed and less into politics than he is nowadays, I think he said to speak is to risk being offensive, which is exactly what, you know, living in a country that allows you to speak freely is why it's so important. If you can't accept that you might be offensive to somebody, then you just shouldn't speak at all. And criticize where people wouldn't be able to improve their work skill. Yeah? People are offended over everything. They are. Which is why it's like, I think you should be open to sharing your thoughts. Well, it's difficult. Sorry, nobody wants to be wrong. I think being wrong doesn't feel good in the moment, and how long that moment lasts depends on the situation, right? Not every time that you're wrong it feels the same. I think oftentimes there's a fear of being wrong because of the way that some people will treat you for being wrong, rather than simply the consequence of being wrong, right? Which is why I try to be really understanding of, with like game dev especially. It's just like, yeah, you make mistakes. It happens. You're wrong about some things. You make some bad calls. Everybody does that. I embrace when I'm wrong, make mistakes. They're they are learning experiences, right? But then you have some people who will treat you very poorly, or especially like with politicians, right? God forbid a politician change their mind, which then we are upset. We get upset at them for not changing their mind. But then when they change their mind, we say they're flip-flopping. Can't win. Can't win sometimes. People can be offended by you sitting in your backyard, that's true. I don't have feelings. Oh yeah, writing and voice acting. I don't even know what we budget for this. I mean, voice acting is so damn expensive. I love this. I just love some of this stuff. Minimum hourly rate charged by voice artists, 250 to 350 pounds an hour for an experienced professional voice actor. Fuck off. It's like, it's so much money. 29 years old, dude, same. And just this year, I actually realized that people can actually visualize things in their mind's eye. I thought it was a figure of speech. I can't visualize any. I've heard about that. It's apparently some, it's like not disease, but just like some, yeah, aphantasia. That's exactly what it is. Somebody was telling me about that a while ago in my Discord. It's wild to me. I have a very strong imagination. I have problems communicating that imagination, especially to like a visual aspect, like drawing. But as a game designer, it's like I have to have a strong imagination because otherwise, how do I design a game? Watch him say no. His pockets are always empty. I don't trust the government. He doesn't even wear pants. Car keys and phone. Fair enough. I don't even wear pants. That way I'm never tempted to carry anything around with me. I mean, God forbid we have to pay somebody. It would be like 1,000 zloty an hour. It's just so absurd. How many lines could you reasonably get through in 1 hour of voice acting? Probably more than I would think. I mean, if we assume like 10 seconds per line, 1 reread necessary, 20s, that's 3. E4 lines. E4 lines, 20 words. 10,000 words an hour. Two full 8-hour days to record all the lines total in the game? There's no way that would be true. It would be at least a week. 60 hours maybe? 60 hours to record all the lines, especially because you'll have to get some done multiple times. I mean, it's really just 60,000. Say 100,000 for voice acting. Which doesn't feel like enough. But maybe it is. Can't recall taste, smells, can't recognize faces of actors and such. Crazy. Wild. I mean, are there any... Let's just put it this way. Are there any legal or controlled substances that could do that? Like, I know that, you know, careful doses of maybe like... God, what's the one that helps with... Yeah, I was going to say LSD maybe. Are there any careful doses of the one that helps with... PTSD? What's the drug that helps with PTSD? MDMA. I think hard crystal. I think it's no. I think it's MDMA. And keep in mind, chat. I've not done any of these. It's a psychedelic. Oh, structurally similar to mescaline and methamphetamine. But I've heard that in very careful doses, it helps people with PTSD. I don't know. What is ecstasy? I would feel so scared taking shit like that. Especially if it helps, right? Because God forbid it helps. And it's like, okay, well, now I need this to be a functional human being, so let me just take drugs for the rest of my life, right? Town is full of meth. Oh, so you must be in a major city in the US. Because God forbid the politicians actually do something about that, right? Think it's an advantage? Alright, I'll let you cook on that one. I'm really just making these numbers up. Yeah, I just think this is too low for voice acting. Oh yeah, I didn't even factor in, I guess I'm not even factoring in cost for taxes and shit, so that would be, these would all be about 30% higher. He's voicing, we got 11 labs. I won't be doing any AI voice acting for our game. I was kidding, okay, that's good. Obviously having a town full of meth is an advantage. State prosecutors are more busy, so you have a later court date or time to flee to Romania or something. Alright, Andrew Tate. I see you in chat. I had a pretty hot take on Andrew Tate a few months ago. I don't think people agreed with me. And I'm not going to defend the guy. I think that sometimes, though, he uses accurate statements as a way to draw bad conclusions and then find a terrible way of addressing what originally started as a truthful take, right? And that's the danger, right? You're misusing truth to push your own agenda and belief. Like, the guy isn't always wrong. Most people are rarely always wrong. And I think he's great at strong. I think he's just great at manipulating. I think worse than Tate is the fact that it's working so well. And I think that it needs to be analyzed why, in a lot of cases, I think society has failed young men, like Western society. The rate of, like, male suicide is abysmal. It's 2 to 3 times higher than women at every age group. there's something, there's just some way that I think that, like, especially early education has failed helping young men, and especially when they see a lot of things on, like, the media attacking them just because they seem to exist. It's pretty sad. Just need to join Hustlers University to learn how to make this game too. True. The fact that people only care about delivering justice when it's topical. Yeah, and because it makes money. It's like these companies support whatever is the most popular thing at the moment because it makes them money. That's the only reason they support those. They don't actually have any values. Their value is money. ARM still managed to sell despite its origins. Yeah. A lot of problem with society is greed and treating people horribly. Yep. And there's no political system that will ever properly address that. And even the ones that would, I don't know, authoritatively, violently deal with greedy individuals, you could argue that's just as bad, right? I think it's just human nature is the root of all great things in humanity and all terrible things in humanity. Of course it is, right? That's a lukewarm take. Of course all the great things and worst things are the result of human choices. That's not a hot take. Not even a big brain take. But I don't know if we can ever properly address it. Yeah, it is a societal. It's just a human nature issue. It's tribalism, right? Social media is not helping. Yeah, no, it isn't. But on social media and only seeing everyone else's wins and how everything in their fake life is perfect. Okay, so I will say, like, the fake life stuff is really bad for mental health, and just as bad as only seeing, like, doom scrolling, just only seeing bad things that occur in life. I think that you can carefully cater your, like, Twitter feed, for instance, to seeing real, heartwarming, positive things that humanity does. And if you can do that, I think you'll find that your time on social media is actually spent learning about the happiness and the good things that happen in other parts of the world. But it's not built to do that by default in a lot of cases. It's just people naturally want to click on the things that make them emotional, especially negative, and it just gets worse, and then it keeps feeding you more of that content, and you just go down and down and down until you think, okay, everything I see on Twitter is negative. I only see bad slurs and terrible people. Like, no, it's because you keep clicking on those things. Just stop clicking on those things for like 2 weeks and only like animal content and wholesome content. Follow pages with, you know, people doing good things in life and people posting their W's, and then you'll only get fed that. Some people think politics solves everything, but politics just step up to social policy. It's very difficult to enact social change even with politics in your favor. Yeah, it is. I mean, making medical stuff not give you debt for life would be a huge fit. It would be. It would be a huge help. Fix. I only joined Twitter last year, and I like it now. I didn't get it before. I agree with that, but many people's medical issues are self-induced. Yeah, I agree with both of you, right? Where I don't know how to fix medical problems. What the fuck do I know? But I do think that some combination of having subsidies or better payment options for non-elective cases, like, you got cancer, right? I mean, let's just get this dealt with. But I mean, also the high prices are also a cost of certain regulations to keep hospitals so clean and running well. Those are expensive to run. But then you also have the medical industry that's, you know, lobbying for shoving all these costs onto the hospital in the first place. It's like it's so nuanced. There's so many problems. They make a law enforcing everyone to buy private healthcare plans. I remember with Obamacare, there was somebody that worked for my dad, and he was being paid as best as he could be at that time, but it's like it wasn't even enough to really afford Obamacare with the amount of cost that he had at home. And so they fined him more money for not being able to afford the healthcare. I mean, look, at this, but the thing with Datu that is that the taxes over here for healthcare things they're really high. I mean, taxes I seem to calculate are like 50 to 66% in Poland, compared to about 33 in US. And it just depends on state, and you have to ask yourself, okay, so why is it this expensive? Not how expensive is it, but why is it expensive? Because that's the only way that you can come to get to the core of the problem. Who's making the money off of this? Is it the hospitals? Is it the people that own the hospitals? Is it somewhere deeper? Is it deeper into our politicians? Because at that point, why are we continuing to put people in office that are just continuing to perpetuate this problem? You can vote red, you can vote blue. At the end of the day, is it really making this problem better? Military, I will defend a lot of military expenses because it's insane how widespread the US military is in the world, and you can disagree, and I think that's fair, about some of its uses, especially in the Middle East. But there are a lot of non-Middle East uses of the US military to protect smaller countries and to protect like a lot of the water areas of the world, especially like the South China Sea and areas around Japan and North Korea. Yeah, public schooling, free, private, is not too pricey. The thing is, it's a lot of cases in Poland, it's more dense, so you often don't have a case of people living too far away from home and going to a university, which I think is much better, right? And I think part of it's like societal thing in the US, where people who want to go to college think that they need to move out of the house and go live on a dorm, which is insanely expensive, or that community college is somehow worse because you don't live on campus. But I think there's just something with how we're viewing that as a society. It doesn't really work out. I want to work on something. I want to fix the pillars, maybe. I really think the freedom of choice needs to be displayed in our pillars somewhere. In the NPCs. It's pillar to the game, and it's crucial to our selling points. The fact that we don't have it in our pillars is bad. I want to get that fixed up. How do you support yourself while working on these games? I don't. I lose money every month. Sadly, I mean, it sucks, but it's the case. Like right now, the game industry is on fire, and I would not even be able to get a job, even if I was spending all day looking for jobs. I won't even touch Israel-Palestine thing because I think that there's problems on both sides. In my opinion, I think both sides have their own unique problems, and in reality, just stop killing each other. Just stop. Like, I mean, no, they're not gonna listen to me saying that, right? It's not like, oh yeah, my Corruptor game said we should stop killing each other, so maybe we should not do that. Because it's all about like land ownership and who owns this religious land. And then all it is people trying to find peaceful ways to resolve this, and both sides saying, fuck that, let's kill more individuals and ignore and be hypocrites. Just stop. Yeah, I agree with Cuthbert. Like, there's somewhere where the money is getting spent that's fucking things up. And we've talked about this company called Cost Plus Drugs, which drastically lowers the prices of certain drugs compared to the price that you would have to pay, especially with insurance. It's big pharma. Like, big pharma's kind of a meme, but guess what? That's where a lot of the money is being pumped into, is big pharma. Should settle their differences in a game of StarCraft. It's so dumb. Like, I don't know how you could support. I don't know. It's just stop killing each other. Come on, just be nice to your neighbors. You can have differences of opinion, okay? But if they're not breaking any laws, just be nice to them. YouTube movie where they show how farmers double dipping in USA. There's a lot of shit that goes on. Dude, ceasefires have been called in that part of the world so often, and they've been broken by both sides just as many times, right? It's absolutely wild. It's all just a bunch of hypocrites and people who want to keep funding this war. There's just a paper that came out, said Ozemic cost only $5 to make and was being sold for like $1,200. I wouldn't be surprised. Zelensky and Putin sitting across each other. Putin chooses Terra and Zelensky chooses Proton. I don't know, man. Politicians suck. I'm tired of people trying to fuel hate with more hate. I support humanity. I support humanity and people that do good and try to make the world a better place. You're not going to be able to always cause only positivity in the world, right? You're going to cause some chaos. Look at Uncle Iroh in Avatar, right? This is a guy that for a lot of his life was in the military. He did cause a lot of suffering, and he, he created a lot of suffering and created a lot of death, and the rest of his life, after realizing the pain and suffering that he had caused in the world, was trying to heal himself, heal the world, and protect the people around him. It's like, you're not always going to be a perfect human being, but if you leave more positive things in the world than you create negative things, if everybody did that, we would have a much more positive society. Insulin is bullshit. Like, I have diabetics in my family, and it's absolutely bullshit, the cost of insulin. I don't necessarily mind the idea of cutting back on politician terms. However, I think that experience in certain roles does help, right? You know what I mean. And I don't know how we encourage people who are positive to society and to our countries to stay in politics, when usually it ends up being that the ones who are actually trying to make a change leave politics because it's working against them in every single way, and there's just no way you can win because it's already established that there's too much corruption, and so anybody who wants to try and make changes it just doesn't work. It doesn't work without a dictatorship, right? But then of course you have problems where the moment you open that door, you've kind of sealed your fate as a country. Experienced political people can be consultants to the politicians. Yeah, but that's like, That's if the politicians would even take the consultation advice. You've got a fluorescent strawberry? It would sort itself out. I'm kind of watching closely what Argentina's new president is doing. I've become a correct politician to get rid of corruption. I sometimes I fantasize in my mind about a politician that runs on all the tropes, gets into office, and just does like the most anti-corruption things possible. Like they run on a typical campaign, bunch of bullshit, say things that sound good, gets them voted in. They get into office, and they just go nuclear on all the corruption and deep state. Would make a good TV series. It would be. It would. Like the anti-House of Cards, yeah. At this point, and this is just like a personal take, if you're voting like mainline red or blue in US every year, it's really only perpetuating the problem. Like both sides, they just say things, but then they do the exact same things deep down. And because I think that there's something underneath that needs to keep spinning, and both sides are just ramping up emotions, getting voted in to keep that thing spinning. Like two halves of a heart, right? I think it's fueled by a lot of external. I mean, the US has a lot of power and a lot of money. Of course, there's external influence. Those commissions. I don't think this is necessarily a. Let me think about pillars. I love talking, but let me. One of these sub-pillars I feel like is not very strong of a sub-pillar, and it's more of just a design. In fact, I think that these two parts of this pillar are less... They're not very good sub-pillars. They're just more of design. Use AI to explain world issues to middle schoolers and allow the middle schoolers to choose what to do. I didn't realize just how political my teachers in school were until I grew up. And realized that, like, oh, that middle school science class assignment where we were to analyze Obama and McCain, debate to see who was more pro-science and like pro-nature was really just the teacher's way of trying to get us to become more leftist. Because looking back, I just kind of realized, I thought he was like a tree hugger. We kind of joked he was a tree hugger in school. It's like, no, he was a hippie. he was firmly on the left side of things. He was trying to turn us into, trying to be political. I appreciated more, which is kind of ironic, my English teacher who also taught elective religion class. He himself was religious, but he taught religion in a way that he didn't care if you were religious or atheist or whatever. He just wanted to teach it from more like a semantic point of view and the history of religion, as it wasn't like indoctrinating, but just like the history of how religion and myths, were in history, and that was a really fun class. I really enjoyed that. Political bias in anything under 12th grade should be a felony. I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. There's a lot of, think of it this way, like how many adults do you know that are politically biased in some way? Even somebody who's centrist like me is politically biased against, you know, the extremes, right? Of course teachers are going to do that. And yeah, it's like kids are really easy to manipulate. They're impressionable. And so any trust that they have for you as a teacher, they're going to pick that up and they're going to repeat those. They're going to parrot those things. But even like, I would say even atheists are almost as extreme as any religion. There's extremes of non-religious people too. Like, oh, all Christians should die or be killed, or they just want A or just want B. It's like, you're just another flavor of extreme. And it's like there are so many different sects of religion and Christianity as well, that some of them are way more accepting of different cultures and other religions than others. You know, hardcore like Orthodox Christianity is arguably more extreme than like Lutheranism. And then there are different sections of Lutheranism too, different groups. I forget the name of it, but like the one that we were part of was very accepting of homosexuals, but there were other Lutheran churches that aren't very accepting. So, you know, it's crazy. I mean, being the leader of a cult does have an allure. I mean, it does. There's some pretty interesting stories of cult leaders, how like charismatic and manipulative they are, right? Everything 6th grade English and up is read this article from this one side of an argument and this weak article from another, explain why article A is correct. There was definitely a lot of that. I only had a few teachers that really taught you to think for yourself, right? Which I think is what a good teacher does. But there were definitely ones that were politically motivated and weren't trying to teach you the facts, or weren't trying to tell you that, hey, even the history books can be wrong about some things. Kind of sucks. We were never taught about the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact in school, for instance. We were taught that Russia was an ally in World War II and helped us to defeat Hitler, and therefore they are on the good side of people. And then you start looking into the way that they committed war and the agreements and discussions they had with Hitler and with the Nazis, and you realize, well, then you move to Poland and you're like, oh, okay. I'm pretty sure they were just opportunistic, and they realized, oh, Hitler's going to be defeated, we can quickly join the side of the Allies and get some of the spoils of war. You have a friend who was starting to be kicked out by their parents if they caught him playing Phasmophobia again. I mean, if it was like Fortnite, I'd be like, okay, that's fair. Problem in AI is that our best AI that we love, ChatGPT, Gemini or others, just LLM that's goal to generate most believable answer. Doesn't understand concept. It is talking about have any other motivation than to make believable guess. Yeah, it's very dangerous. Have you ever seen the Netflix documentary called Wild Wild Country? It happened near me. Wild Wild. I feel like I've heard of that. What was that about? Oh no, I don't think I've seen this one. I'd have to look at that one. What do I want this pillar to be about? It's no forced ideology. That a good way to put it? stories in Northern Chronicles should be free of writers' own viewpoints and bias. Instead, write with multiple outcomes in mind and let the player determine how they want to. That's a better pillar. Devout Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, of course. Quick, lock the door. Yeah, AI is dangerous. We talk about it a lot on channel that it's, you know, if you don't know that it's lying to you, it's very easy for it to manipulate you and tell you things that are just factually untrue. Without any hint of saying, without it even saying, I might be wrong about this. We'll just take it at face value. Very calmly. I almost want the third pillar here to cover like the way that they relate to the isolation and the socialization of the player. That NPCs need to act as driving forces behind the player's decisions. That they need to be, there needs to, I don't know how to put it. Really often I feel like just half distracted, but not by you guys, but just more like I woke up with like a only half my brain is turned on today or something. I don't know. It ain't the good half, degenerate half. Try some LSD. I'm not sure that's gonna help today. Guys, maybe you should ask ChatGPT what it was trained for. It'll totally tell you the truth. Ask it what OpenAI's values are as a company. Those are actually called hallucinations. God damn it. Do that about Stardust specifically that my critic most know LM is ChatGPT. Llama or Gemini. I think for me the greatest help that AI could do is just being an assistant. Like not using it for any work where it could lie to me, but using it to make certain aspects of my work more efficient. helping me get through those slogs that get me hung up. I don't know what to put here. Oh. I feel dead today. We just play a game. We gotta finish this. We could play a game for a couple hours though. They need to promote socialization. That this is the way that you receive news and information about things going on. And that if the NPC isn't doing this, then it isn't fulfilling its role. Like the frequency of NPCs promotes isolation, also social. How to put that? PC rarity needs to create feelings of isolation. Player. Make the player and the news and personalities that these present create a feeling of anticipation for the next round of socialization. I don't really like that though. First playable's not over yet, so if I want to change that later on, I can. He says, yeah, me too. We just want it as an assistant. I don't know if this is any better. I need to think about this over like the weekend. I'm not going to update the document yet then. I need to reword these in more. I don't like this. I think this is okay. It could be reworded. Let's do some cleaning up of our prototype. I'll do something that doesn't require numbers or words. That's for you. Any things. Come on. I need to reset the that grass change I did. Hold on, let me do that. We could, if also, if I don't want to like think too much, I could. There is a pretty interesting video that I wanted to watch, and we could save it for like Friday because today's a pretty good day to watch something like that. You guys tell me what you think. It is. It would really.
There's me right there.
It would really end up with me making like a 2-hour video about publishers are destroying video games. Should we watch that? Should we see how publishers are destroying video games? Because I don't really know what I want to fix up in here right now. I'd have to think about that over the weekend. I do know one thing. I'll fix up the how bright the night times are. That way I can say I did something today. Need to add an Easter egg to it. I should do that. I wanted to fix up the brightness of the nighttime. Somebody told me that it was too dark. I really don't think it's too dark. Pretty damn bright. It's only dark when there's like full cloud coverage, right? There's like a storm. Sun, moon. Right? Like, I lived in, you know, I've gone camping a lot. I was a Boy Scout. Dude, night times are dark as shit. Especially in like a forested area. You're not gonna see anything. I mean, this is already very bright. With a full moon. I mean, I can change like the moon phase. The moon phase does help to change the light a bit, right? So it is a bit darker during a new moon. I was in survival school, it was dark. Throughout my time with my eyes open but not able to see anything at all, yeah. Like, and you're opening your eyes wide just trying to get any little bit of light, and even then, no, you're like tripping over the stupidest things and... Dark side brightness. Hearing four sounds too at the same time was cool. Not, yeah. It's pretty scary. God, that's weight. Jesus Christ, this thing is so bright. Ow, I'm flashbanged here. Why didn't I select it? Ooh. Basically saying that like something like this is better for nighttime. I'm like, I don't know, it's pretty damn bright. It doesn't even feel like nighttime. Yeah. To me, this is a pretty fair. You know, once the adaptation kicks in fully, this is a pretty fair and still even a little bit unrealistic in terms of brightness at nighttime, but it's decent. It at least feels like nighttime. Yeah, it does. It does need sounds of crickets. That's one of the things I'd like to add, probably in the next couple weeks, is ambient sounds, some sound effects for like walking. I don't think I need to be comprehensive with sounds, but I'd like to at least add. I'd like some sounds, especially ambient. Help sell that mood. These street lamps are bright as shit too. Almost a little bit. I think they're too bright. I should have a burnt out bulb and flicker. That could be pretty cool. That'd be a nice, subtle little touch. It could be done. I'm kind of attached to this level at this point, but I know that it's just a temporary prototype level. Kind of nice though. Oh, I made it. When you freely craft a wide array of potions, poisons, and medicines, you're gonna be able to have test subjects. You can, so the potions that you make, you can drink yourself. You could feed them to your slime to discover properties about them. Mainly, that's mostly useful for like ingredients that you find randomly, right, and you don't know anything about. You can also throw them at monsters and creatures. So, yeah, you have test subjects. I always forget too that we have this little porthole. Where is it? Wait, I always forget that we have this. And C down in there. I'm gonna sleep now, very tired. No worries. Yeah, take care. And thanks for sharing your crazy Excel prototype. What are you doing, buddy? He's stuck. Why is there pathfinding getting stuck here? Shouldn't be. So I'm gonna go to sleep 2:30 a.m. here, damn. Got car racing to do tomorrow, holy shit. That sounds fun. Yeah, take care, guys. Sleep well. And thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. Very nice of you. Yeah, I don't know how to feel. I'm gonna have to think about what I want to do to my whole like thoughts for the past 2 weeks have been budget and GDD and first playable. So if we're gonna jump back into this and make some additional changes to the prototype, then I really need to think about what I want to change. And there's a whole feedback document from somebody that I can go over. Instead, what I'm gonna do, because I'm feeling a little off today, we're gonna watch
the largest campaign ever to
Publishers Are Destroying Video Games. And I am excited for that. We can end the dev stream here for today.